Welcome to Sports Sushi. Your chefs for tonight are Sports Plug Russ, serving up the spiciest sports takes of the week. Sterling Furrow, rolling the X's and O's into an analytical maki platter. And finally, the moderator who always keeps the sake flowing, DJ Slow Boogie. Now grab those chopsticks and get ready, because your order of fresh and raw sports sushi is up.
Bang.
Watch this.
Welcome,
Sushi,
everybody.
Bitch. What up?
Everybody? Another episode of Sports Sushi. It's another Wednesday. Sterling is here with us. He's not here with us right now, but he will be here with us.
He gonna be here, so just wait.
Yeah, so all y'all got to do, he gonna pop in here. You know what I'm saying? So when he just pop in here, don't be surprised. But while we wait, we on some new platforms, man. So just give you a quick rundown. We are always live as ever on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and Twitter. We are now going forward. We're going to be live on Instagram as well. So ha.
Yeah. Live everywhere you go. We are there like air. The earth is our turf.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, baby. You know what I'm saying? We'll be uploading.
But we won't
Spotify.
paint it like them dumbass motherfuckers did for the Super Bowl.
Yeah, we're not gonna select it. Damn, give a nice
boy. Let's put a metric ton of paint on top of some fresh grass. And then, and let's not forget at halftime it got real hot, so it was a gushy paint, water, gross mixture
of mud and dirt and lacquer and paint. It was sad. It was
an
sad.
inside job.
But we are live on Twitter, and we will be going forward, uploaded on all these platforms. We're going live on those previews and uploaded on these platforms going forward, Spotify, and all the podcast directories, Apple, whatever. Daily Motion, Odyssey, and Rumble as well. So, bam, bitch,
here
you can't fucking get away from us. Shit, like how my boy say, we everywhere. Like, yeah, how you doing today, Russ, dog? How you doing today, dog?
You know what I'm saying? Ready to talk to sports and try to keep my mouth shut until Wednesday, so all the good shit doesn't spill out into the earth. You know what I'm saying? So I'm ready to talk some shit about these folks.
You know, we
that
got
play sports for a living.
Yeah, we know coming up today, we're going to talk a little bit about the XFL that will happen this weekend. We're going to talk. Obviously, we're going to continue our draft spotlight leading up into the draft.
This one's a good one, guys. The GPA is starting to kick in, and it hurt my feelings today because we know the GPA tends to take people and make you see them past the wow plays. And when you look past the wow plays and the season averages, you start to look at, I can't wait till this first class of guys goes into the league so I can see how it translates. Because if it translates into good or bad, I'll be sad or happy. But there's exceptions to every rule. But today's QBs, and it's interesting.
You know what I'm saying? And also we'll be talking about a little bit of video games, Madden, and EA Sports with their situation, their promise that they have made.
It's not. I don't even think it's so much. We'll get into it, bro.
Yeah, we'll definitely get into that. And also, we'll dive into the recap of All-Star Weekend that happened with the NBA, and we will get into all facets of that.
Well, I'm not gonna say that was good shit. There was good moments. It was
good moments. Overall, I'll say I enjoyed what I seen. I enjoyed. All right, so excuse me. So let's go ahead and kick it off, and let's get into this day in sports. What you got for us?
Alrighty, daddy, do. Guys, I'm always gonna hit you with what happened this day in sports. And today in sports in 2019, Robert Kraft, owner of the NFL team New England Patriots, was charged with soliciting prostitution. Oh shit! Wait, that was the wrong one. That really happened though today in 2019. My bad. That one I was. You know what? Sometimes you put things on paper and you gotta say it. But no, today in sports was the Miracle on Ice. This is the on this day in sports was the Do you believe in miracle? Yes. You know what I'm saying? That happened today in sports. So shout out to the Miracle on Ice for being an occurrence in sports. You know what I'm saying? I had to hit hockey up because even though we don't talk hockey on this bitch, hockey is live. I'm just not that into it, but it does have the best playoffs, you know what I'm saying, out of all the sports, I believe, because I've watched some playoff games in hockey, and that shit is drilled in a bitch. I think you gotta go. I hear you gotta go, but I hear when you go, you become a psychopath. You like beat on the glass. So I think I really need to go.
Yeah. Chris showed me a clip. Yeah, he definitely showed me a clip with a hockey player getting fucking toe tagged on the ice.
Yes, he did. I shared that to a lot of people. Woo! Chris, that was evil.
That was pretty much the hardest hit that I ever seen in sports.
And y'all niggas worried about niggas going across the middle.
Yeah.
There are dudes out here skating on swords.
Yeah.
Straight pile driving each other into ice, which is like concrete.
But
hey, you know,
dude looked so dead. Like he was just like, I said, "Oh yeah, boy."
That man came across the heights and hit him with that.
My boy was out there looking for the meaning of life. You have to look for the meaning of life, God damn, man. But yes. All right, so
break your horns for that guy for still being alive, though.
Yeah. Clap it up, man.
You know what I'm saying?
All right, so let's go ahead and get into the XFL. Clap it up. Let's go ahead and get into the XFL real quick. The XFL just had their games, their kickoff games that happened this weekend. If you haven't been paying attention, it's a rebranding. They started the route with the pandemic.
Them niggas hired The Rock. Let's just be 100.
They hired The Rock, so
they hired The Rock.
Shit's better.
It is better. You know what I'm saying? I hired The Rock. It is better. Like, you know what I'm saying? First they pulled up in the Ford Taurus, then they came in the Benz. You know what I'm saying? It was the same nigga, but he had a new car. It's like, oh shit, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, you know. Did you watch it? I watched it in and out. I didn't I'm not gonna act like I was like glued to the TV. But it was nice to have some like football, some competent football on the airwaves in the coming to the springtime. So I watched some of it though. I do have some takeaways, but I was gonna go back and forth. You know what I'm saying?
So it is, you know, for once like legit, football like spring.
Yeah, it's competent. It's professional football. It's just kind of weird to say, but there's another league.
Yeah, so it definitely is. One of the things, if you haven't watched it, I've only seen the San Antonio. Are you wearing a
Georgia shirt?
Yeah, I got a Georgia shirt.
Go ahead. The victor goes the spoils.
And honestly, I wasn't aware it's just laundry day, and I was just like,
I just know.
Yeah,
we down and out. Know you so right now, so you know what I'm saying. I'm just hating, but like a good college fan would do.
But looking at the San Antonio, was it? I can't remember. They're the Stampede. What are they?
The team is San Antonio.
The team is San Antonio, where Hines Ward is the head
coach. I'm disrespectful as fuck. I'm gonna find it. I'm just saying, like,
I want to say it's a Stampede.
Do we really care?
Because Texas got 3 teams. That's one thing I noticed. I said, okay,
bro, that's how you know Texas is like fiends for football, bro. Because we got the Arlington Renegades, Houston Roughnecks. Oh, they're called the San Antonio Brahmas. The Rock owns this shit. The Brahmas.
Okay, I roll.
But I fuck with it. But yeah, Texas is like a quarter in the projects where the crack rocks just sprinkle and we just go to it because we love football. We can't live without it. We need it. Even if we can't play it, we need it. It's football.
We gonna watch it.
Good drugs.
one of the things that there's a lot of differences. And one of the things I noticed with the kickoffs. The kickoffs was where the receiving and kickoff team all kind of pretty much line up 5 yards away from each other across the line.
Flex. Whoever thought of that.
Yeah.
Let me double up. You get 2 bombs.
Yep. Well, the kickers like 25, 30 yards behind.
Yeah, but the way they make them wait, and then it basically becomes a run play.
Yeah.
And then direct snap run play.
Yep. Basically. And where the runner has to basically choose the gap or the hole where the blockers go, and then where it's not really collision and stuff like that. So that was one thing I seen that I liked, and I love that. I love that. The other thing was the transparency of the review play, where they actually went to the review guy in the truck, and they were explaining the rules and was like, all right, and everything was live and you could see it happening in real time. And I thought that was a cool feature, but do you think that the NFL being under as much criticism as they are about officiating and stuff like that, do you think they need to start taking bits and pieces away from the XFL and seeing it as is relatively a farm league or developmental league for the NFL, do you think that they can start pulling things that will be ultimately kind of improve their brand?
No, I think that they definitely should. They already have. They did it back in the day. They did it last time. It was up. They will again. The XFL just injects a lot of common sense into the game. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of things that XFL just there's some things that may look weird and you may not like, but some things like the kickoff, like we've had this debate back and forth about with the kickoff, what we could do with the kickoff. Someone sat down in the room and was like, yo, just wait till he catches the ball to go. And you know what I'm saying? And it's like things like that. But football is that sport. Like football is the sport where you have like the thing that's like needs to be done is right there in front of you.
Yep. And
you do everything around that until you get to that point where you have to do, where common sense has to prevail. So, I mean, I fuck with it. So, like, I think it will. I think the NFL will. They do it again. So, I don't see why they wouldn't again.
I mean, I look at it like this. Okay, with the XFL, there's going to need to be some changes. Obviously, kind of going forward. It's not really like changes to the product. I think you're gonna need some cosmetic changes. Like you don't have to change the name. I mean, it's not really that extreme anymore.
I mean, but wait. I will say this though. It's not that extreme. But when you were watching it, did it not seem like it was more physical? I just wanted to know, like, if that was just something that I thought of, or if like, because when I watched the parts I watched, because I'm not gonna lie, I watched a lot of college basketball too, because the tournament's coming up, and Rusty J's $100, maybe $200 challenge is coming up. But you know what I'm saying? I thought that it seemed like it seemed more physical. Like I thought that the guys were able to tackle the quarterback. If you got to him, you were able to hit him. If I'm not mistaken, I didn't see too many like calls that we'd be like, oh damn, it's just football. Yeah. It's like they kind of let them play football. I really, really enjoyed the 2-point conversion and the onside kick 4th and 15. I thought I've been hoping for an onside kick 4th and 15 type shit for like years. And to see it happen in real life, like that shit, that shit is doper than an onside kick. You can't run an onside kick the way you really want to without fucking someone busting their skull. So why not give the niggas a chance to make an insurmountable play? 4th and 15. That shit would be awesome in the NFL. So on top of the fact that, I think the NFL is going to steal this shit again, the XFL is actually pretty entertaining because the rule changes make it different. So like the way that I think it was with the San Antonio team that came back, or St. Louis team.
St. Louis team came back.
Yeah, Battlehawks, who had that dude for, was it McCarron? Is that his name? AJ McCarron? Yeah, old Bama boy. Came back, socked it to you. Mass, HTX. AJ McCarron does not suck in the XFL at that moment in time when he came back, but a lot of other times he did.
Well,
But no, and it was exciting though, because even though it seems like then they got chance, it was still like it was dope to see you be able to say, all right, we're gonna go for this 3, and then we're gonna go back, and then we ain't gotta kick an onside kick, so the crowd is not sitting back like, well, that's the game. Really up like, we got a 4th and 15. Let me step a little bit, and then they get it, and you're like, motherfucker got a 4th and 15. They might got a chance. They got to play. Like, what's going on here? And then they score, and you're like, oh, I just had fun watching the XFL, and I didn't even know it. You know what I'm saying? And that's how it happens.
And what's good is that hey, look at
that boy. Hey, what's going on?
Man, chill like some villains, man.
You just caught us in the middle talking about this XFL shit. That's it. Did you catch the game, fool?
I did. I caught a little XFL this weekend.
You about to shit on it. What'd you think?
XFL, go. That's a sign of chemistry right there, because you already knew what my opinion was going to be. It's all right, man. There's nothing on TV. You watch it, but is it good football? No, it's not good football. It's not. When you got Buck Osweiler playing quarterback, nigga, it's not good.
Well,
okay.
That's
to be expected from Sterling though, because he's like No, Sterling's like a nigga that you hand some beer and he goes, "Why would you give me this swine? Like, give me something nice to drink. I need some Hennessy or something." You know what I'm saying? Like he's a nigga that he got some dignity to him. See me, I'm a Texas football junkie. I just want to see the nigga put on some pads and go get it. I was all positive, but that's right though, because hey. You know what I'm saying? I drink Coors.
That's what makes our show good. You're the positive one. I'm the negative one, and Boogie's in the middle.
But it makes me sound like I just accept anything. Like, what's in your blue cup, Russell? Might be some Natty Light, nigga.
That's how you are. Ain't nothing wrong. That's why it's so great, because I'm the hater. You the positive one.
No, you just tell the fucking truth.
Yeah.
But no matter how much it stings.
But
and then you sprinkle salt in it and say, "Don't worry, that'll make you tougher for next time." Yeah.
But no, some real shit though.
It was straight though. It was entertaining.
It was.
Come on, Sterling. What about the rule changes, bro? The rule change, you gotta admit.
Yeah, the replay system is good. The rule changes, that's good.
The 2-point, 3-point conversion. I love me personally. I don't think you heard me say this, but my favorite thing was a 4th and 15 instead of an onside kick.
I don't like that, bro. Because if you shitty the whole game and then you get, it's like you catching fire. I don't like that.
That's the point.
I don't like it.
But what about what? Okay, so what is the onside kick? You're shitty the whole game, and the oblong ball just happened to take a crooked bounce your way.
Well, shit.
A 4th and 15, at least we get to see some niggas go for it.
I don't like that 3-point shit either. Like, get out of here, big free, hitting a 4-pointer. No.
I love it.
Just don't suck.
But according to your analysis, all these guys already suck. So why not have some good rules? Why not have some rules to make them better? We already know you can't make it playing the traditional way. So this is the XFL. Come play this golf and shit and have some fun.
That's why 3/4 of these stadiums are empty.
But you know what? I think they will get a little bit more. I'm not gonna fit in the high. You know me and heels, so I'm not standing up tall with a flag that says XFL. But it was fun. The stuff I saw was fun, but I can't lie and act like I just tuned in and stayed tuned into it. I did change the channel. Like I did change the channel and watch some college basketball.
One thing that I did take away with this was that Paxton Lynch, no matter what league he in, he sucks.
Dog, he trash.
He has been benched in every league he has played in. Every league.
Because he's been trash in every league he's played in.
Wow.
He's garbage.
Yes.
That's the truth. And I'm the positive one. Paxton Lynch is no good. Jerry Jones was drinking a lot that day. A lot that day. And I think he would even admit, man, I saw a tall ass white boy and got excited. You know what I'm saying? I think he would admit it. Oh! Dale just came in. Like the motherfucking Matrix.
My nigga Dale. What's good, dog?
How you doing in Florida?
What up?
Florida Dale, how you doing, brother?
You man, all in the screen. Damn, nigga, what you got a ski mask on? What's up, Dale? How you doing, nigga? What you doing?
How you doing, bro?
Nothing. Just popping in.
That's what's up,
popping in. Seeing what's going on.
Now we over here talking
about he gonna do this year. I'm sorry.
We just over here wrapping up this XFL shit, man. But nah, nigga, since you here, yeah, what them Heat hitting for, dog? What's going on in Miami? Yeah. What them Hurricanes gonna be looking like? What's the predictions? Yeah, you ain't been on the show in a while, man. We got a lot.
Bro, don't tell us we not gonna do the Hurricanes. Dale probably had a good day today.
You probably did.
we gonna leave. I was just being an asshole, but at least the Heat are competitive. I think he froze up.
Ah, man, you froze up, dog.
Florida Dale done froze up. It's okay though, Florida Dale. Yeah. We still love you. Thank you for popping in. Y'all gotta find a way to get my nigga Ghost to be able to pop in like that.
Man, and that's what I'm trying to say. Pop in. Hey man, everybody welcome in Sports Sushi, man.
You are, but if you do some shit like come in zoomed in, get your ass, nigga. Dale, we gotta come in a little, pan that bitch out a little bit, my nigga.
Is he back?
Where is he at?
There he is.
Oh, there you go.
That's Dale's forehead, but it'll do.
I see eye blink. Eye blink.
Oh, see, now that shit working.
We gotta do these quarterbacks though, Dale.
Yeah.
We gonna let you work it out. We gotta get to these quarterbacks.
Yeah, we gotta go ahead. We gotta run these quarterback spotlights real quick. Deal. So we're gonna go ahead and get that started real quick. So if you have
one time for Dale trying.
All right, so we ended up if you're just now tuning in, because we done tuned in, we live on new shits now. So we've been doing draft spotlights from this point, up until this point. I think we started with the quarterback. We didn't do it with our grading system, so we got a running back for y'all.
Yes, sir.
This episode here. So I will leave it up to you, the experts here, when it comes to these draft spotlight classes.
Oh,
so,
Sterling's the expert. I'm just a nigga that tell you who should throw the ball and who shouldn't.
Well, I mean, yeah, for the experts, nigga.
I got a long way to go to be an expert, man.
Man.
I try hard.
I don't want Todd coming from my ass, bro.
All right, man. So let's go ahead and get let's kick the list off here right now. All right. So who y'all got coming in at the bottom of the list? I think I got 6. Is 6 now?
Well, I got 6. I think you never really did you like the 5 I put up or the 6 I put up?
Yeah, I like you.
I was gonna start from the bottom.
Jaron Hall in there, but
I didn't. But
I
also stated. But I also do you think that everybody knows about him right now as a top 5 guy? Or do you?
Nah, they don't.
Okay, that's why I said we're gonna save some gems for later.
Yeah.
So
we can save him. Let's save him.
Stop giving away the cookies. Stop giving away the cookies. You know what I'm saying? He nice though.
He is.
He might be what they thought Zach Wilson was, but we're gonna get into that in a little bit. But no. So we're gonna start with number 6. Number 5 and number 6, of course, are always even. So Tanner McKee was the guy that I chose. I know that a lot of people like him because of his size, his frame. Do you have his size and frame?
Yeah, man. He's like 6'6", about 230. 6'6".
He's a big dude. If you see him on film, he's a big dude. But I just normally, Sterling, I always kick the size and frame to you. But I did put him in the grading system. Now he did get a B-. Now, of course, the grading. Now I will let people know this. The grading system is very, very harsh for quarterbacks. This is like a high level class, if you will. So the grading system is very harsh for them. There's another formula that we use for the interception. It's not necessarily the interception. They get an interception score. So be ready to see some quarterbacks that might make you say, what? But it's very interesting to see how it comes out. But he ended up getting a B-. He got a 2.6. Now, what I found interesting about him, and we don't have to spend too much time on him, is the thing that stuck out to me is he's stiff as a board. I don't know how that's really going to translate. His offense was very vanilla and basic, and he still managed to throw a ton of interceptions for what you'd like for a quarterback to do. So for me, he's just very stiff, and I don't know if it translates, but he's a very big body and he's got a strong arm. But I just don't. I think if you're a guy that plays in an offense that's going to be, I won't necessarily say like vanilla, but it's not going to do a whole bunch of tricky shit all around the parks type stuff. You're going to get a bunch of seams, and you're going to get a bunch of posts, and you can either hit those or you can't. And if you can't hit seams and posts in college, what am I looking for later? But I got you, Sterling. You can. I hope you don't. Oh man, Tanner's gonna hate us if I'm the positive one and you about to dig in.
Nah, I like Tanner McKee as a quarterback. I mean, how can you not look at a guy that's 6'6", 230 pounds as a quarterback and go, he's intriguing as a physical prospect, right? He has the physical tools where he looks the part. He's not a great athlete.
We lost him.
But he's a decent athlete, I would say.
There you go. Right.
Did you lose me?
Yes.
Oh,
you're back.
Okay. Oh, sorry. He's a functional athlete. He's a guy. He is your traditional prototypical quarterback that's going to stay between the hashes. He's not a guy that's going to make things happen like from an improvised standpoint. Like
at all.
Jalen Hurts, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. He ain't gonna do that. Like,
bro, he ain't gonna do Tony Romo.
Yeah.
If the blitz gets there, it is there. He's not. I'm not talking about like production wise, but as far as like style, he's Peyton. He's Eli.
Yeah,
he's standing still
for sure. So
he's big though.
He's big, and he's gonna win from the pocket. So let's give him his flowers real quick. Like, the dude can distribute the ball with confidence to every area of the field. Like, he has a first round arm talent. Like, the guy, he can sling it with anybody. Now, when pressure's in his face and he's asked to get out of the pocket and make things off schedule, I think that's where he's going to have issues, right? So if you have an offense where you want a traditional, right, when you want a traditional drop back style quarterback, I think that's a guy that you can have that if you want to develop. I think he has some tools, and he's a smart quarterback. I mean, let's be real. He plays at Stanford, so he's a smart quarterback. He's going to win like Drew Brees. He's going to win like Peyton Manning in terms of how they win, like what they do well. But I think in a day and age where, teams are asking quarterbacks to not only be solid with your mechanics as a passer, right?
Yeah,
they're going to need you to play out of structure. And so where Tanner McKee can improve, I think throwing on the run, or when he's asked to make, throws that are not scripted, that's where he needs to improve, right? So I think, you having him here at 5 or 6, I think that's a great place for him. I think he's a developmental option. This is a quarterback that probably should be taken in rounds. You could take him rounds 3, 4, and up, right? Or not like 1 to 2, but starting at round 3, I think he could become an option for a team that maybe you're looking for backup help, or taking him with. He has a high ceiling, but every high ceiling quarterback's not going to get it like Josh Allen, right?
No. But a team like Seattle, depending on what they do, as far as a team that's really good with quarterback, like he's a guy that knows how to run the system he runs. It's just that. Whenever the road, he's not an off-road. Some cars could drive off-road. Some need to be on a paved road. He needs to be on a paved road. Keep that shit paved. Keep him going on a straight road, no curves. Because when the shit gets, it just goes bad for him. Number 5, you're gonna love this. I got my guy Anthony Richardson. So. Let's get into it real quick. Of course, not of course, but I mean, he got a D+. I mean, he's not going to grade high. Yeah, he got a D+. He did not grade well at all. 1.33. I mean, the guy only had 176 completions. It's only 53% from the pocket. Okay, so look, he didn't do very well as far as what the grade out is. But he, to me, this is not to say he's going to be that. Okay? I'm just putting it out here that the way that we talk about him and his inability to be accurate and his amazing arm strength, because his arm is stupid. His arm is ridiculous. And his ability to run, he reminds me a lot, and I didn't get this guy when he came out, but it reminds me a lot of the way we talk about Josh Allen. Like, he's a credible athlete, but like, what's going to happen at the next level? And the fact that I believe he's only had 12 starts under his belt. So the low grade to me is one where I say this grading system has no bias, because this is one of my guys. But I do think that when you watch them across the season, the things that you talked about, Sterling, and that you'll probably bring to the forefront here, they came out. Like, he wasn't very accurate. He has the arm talent. I do want to say one thing, though. The fact that he was willing to go out in his first opportunity to start, and he was willing to play quarterback and not just run RPOs, was something to me, because I do believe if he would have went out there and Florida would have based an RPO offense around him and let him run around the block a little bit more, they probably could have made the playoff. But instead, he did try to play quarterback. And so I think that he is he is a project, but I believe he's one of those guys that could end up being that could end up being drafted and end up like a Josh Allen, end up being a star, just because of the simple fact that he's only played 12 games in Division I football, and he's got all the tools to be great. But shit, I'm positive and I like the guy. Go ahead, Sterling.
So the measurables, he's 6'4", 240 pounds. Well, he'll probably come in as this dude is a physical specimen. His athleticism is off the charts. And like you said, he's a guy that is going to give you some high highs and some low lows. Now that's fine and dandy. I think if you're a team that wants to draft him in round 1, which a lot of people are projecting him to be a first-round quarterback, I don't feel like he's a first-round talent. I feel like he's inconsistent, right? I think it depends on who drafts him is really going to dictate a lot of his success. He's not a quarterback that's refined. He has a strong arm. I mean, this guy, like Michael Vick can throw the ball 50 yards on a rope with a flick of a wrist. Like, that's one of the most impressive things. And one of the things that he developed this year is kind of his touch passing, where he can, kind of fit a ball in between two defenders, his own coverage. He improved there. We talked about this kid in the summer when we first started the show, and it was some of the things that I talked about. Like, I got to see him improve as a passer. Now, he did that to an extent. I think some of his situational awareness, and I don't know if that was by play design or the structure, but
his pocket presence is pretty trash.
He could play, out of structure. But sometimes it's like, if everything's well for him, he succeeds. But like when things break down from him, and it's like he tries to be an athlete and he tries to be a quarterback. And I think those things need to coincide. Like, your mechanics still, you could be a great athlete, but your mechanics still need to be good. And I think that's why he struggles. So we've seen it work with Josh Allen. Josh Allen was very much like this. Again, it depends on, how much work is he willing to put in.
It depends on him.
And are you going to start him, year one? I think if you draft him, I think you need to give him some time to mature and develop his skills. But I think as a runner, like I said, he's a powerful runner. This dude's probably going to run. He's going to run in the 4.3s, 4.4s.
He's a fast Josh Allen.
He's fast. He is really fast. I think
honestly, more like a Vince Young. Honestly,
he's fast. Well, Vince Young was a good solid 4.4 speed, right? Vince Young was
about 4.3. Catch him on a good day.
Yeah,
Vince Young will get you.
I think accuracy. I think he's a better passer than Vince Young.
I think the one thing that I did see is it's not necessarily he's inaccurate. It's the consistency. He's right. Out of all these guys we'll name, he's probably the most inconsistent.
Yeah, for sure.
I think anything else?
I would say reasons why you want to draft him. I think the physical upside, right? I think he has arm strength. Look, he can reach every blade of grass on the field when he's on it, throwing the football. And I think he's a guy that if you're a team that has solid coaching from head coach, offensive-minded head coach, and you have a really good offensive coordinator, and you get him in a program where, like Josh Allen has, his offseason regimen, you get him in something like that, he could be great.
He'd be dangerous. And this is no pun intended. I just realized this when I thought about this, but the Giants should fight tooth and nail to get him. The New York Giants should fight and bleed to get him, because him with Brian Daboll.
I ain't taking him round one.
I think if you have a chance to get Anthony Richardson coached by Brian Daboll, you do that shit. Like, you do that because because in sports, like, you look for guys that fit for certain archetypes and certain molds. And if I have him as my coach, I'm looking at Brian right now and saying, like, look, dude, we could get basically the guy you had in Buffalo, like physicality and like, physically, and you just do what you did again. Like, if he has it, we're on top of the world. If he doesn't, he doesn't.
It's high risk, high reward.
I think the reward outweighs the risk, because
okay. Let me ask you a question.
Because you got Danny Dimes right now. So what are you gonna? So let's say you say I'm not gonna sign Danny Dimes, right? We're not gonna sign him. We're not gonna give you $45 million.
Okay.
We do everything in our power as an NFL organization to say we are going to draft this guy. Like this is you did that with Danny Dimes. You've already shown that you'll do that with Danny Dimes. Like they did it with Eli Manning. We will do whatever we want to get our guy. You know what I'm saying? Trade for him, whatever. So if you do whatever you can with this coach, I don't think he will fail. I don't think this coach had Danny Dimes cooking when you could see while this coach is calling great plays, like this guy just isn't the guy. But the guy calling the plays and the guy running the team, he that dude. We saw what happened to Buffalo when he left. Not trying to take any shot, but like I think that when you look at a lot of these quarterbacks, and we'll look at more of them, but especially in these top 5, if you're the New York Giants and you have a guy that's already shown that he can mold quarterbacks, he made Danny Dimes better than we've ever seen him. So like if you give him a guy like Anthony Richardson, I just think you blow the top off. As a Cowboy fan, I hope it doesn't happen. I hope they do whatever else they're going to do.
Yeah, I mean, look at what happened with Jalen Hurts. I think I think there's potential there. I just think how much are you going first round with him? Like some teams are like Giants, about going first round with him. So,
but I think everything's case by case. So you are correct. Is he a first round talent? No. But if you have Dayball and you're sitting there and you're not going to get him in top 5. You're not going to go that high. So if you're sitting there like 25 to 32, you know what I'm saying? Or what a pick are they? They're about like 20. They made the playoffs. What is it?
I'd have to check, see where their draft position is.
Who is it?
The Giants.
The Giants. But I'm saying they're not going to draft high nor super low. But if you're somewhere down there in the bottom middle part of the draft and you can make it happen, like let's say you do move up to the highest I'd move up to get them if I'm the Giants is probably 12.
Okay, so
I mid first. I mean, if you gotta get them that high.
The only reason is
they have the 25th.
So you're 25. I don't think anybody else is going to go after him early in the first. Well, somebody might because his talent his potential is through the roof. So let's say you do have to trade up to 12, 10, 12, 14, 15, somewhere around there. Like he's not going top 10. You know what I'm saying? That's not going to happen.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So like if you could trade up for the Giants, just for the Giants, this has nothing to do with anybody else. Just because we know that Brian Daboll is a quarterback whisperer. We know this. So give him a fresh one that's really dope. You know what I'm saying? Give him a fresh one that has all the tools. You got the same shit that you got in Buffalo, except you run a 4-3. You're just as wildly inconsistent with your accuracy as Allen was when he came out. You have all that, but what's up?
I got a question.
Yeah.
Do you think that he's even a first round talent?
Well, I personally don't think he's a first round talent, but he will get drafted in the first round.
And that's a question that has so many layers.
He could go as high as number 7 to Oakland.
Yeah, like first round. Does he have the skills that make me say Anthony Richardson deserves to go, like he said, top 10? No, he doesn't. But does he have, potential-wise?
Yeah.
Yes. Potential-wise, he's like he said, potential-wise, he's like a top 7, 8, 9, 10, 7 and on. Like he's not going top 5. You wouldn't do that to yourself
no.
Because if you have a pick that high, there's 2 quarterbacks that we're going to get into that are going to be better off for you. Yeah. But maybe the 3, maybe 3 with this next guy as a third one.
Because I could see him being, I could see him being a second round pick.
I'm just saying, like if you're a team, if you're like the Giants are just in a perfect situation at 25. You don't know what you want to do with Danny Dimes. Like you could sit there and just say, "Give us the AR-15."
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
the Falcons could take him at number 8.
The Falcons, that's another team. I just think that you run the risk because I do believe it's about a volatile situation. It's high risk, high reward. So if you're gonna pick him, you better have a motherfucker that can whisper to the QB. And we know that we know that Dayball could do that. That's why I chose the Giants. But we can go to number 3. Number 3 is Hendon Hooker of Tennessee. He graded out at an 83.7 with a B. He got a 3.0, just a B. Now, I will say the thing that stood out about him, and even though he did miss a couple games, he only threw 2 interceptions. He's wildly accurate. I love the kid, bro. Like I honestly, I would say Anthony Richardson is my Madden type player. Like he's just fun to watch. But the guy that I'm looking at over all these guys, and I've said it before, is Hendon Hooker. I just think that Hendon Hooker is going to be. I don't know. Something about him I think he's going to be a starter in the league. I think he's even going to be able to lead a team. He just strikes me as when you got the ability to take Tennessee from the bottom to the mid tier to the top, you know what I'm saying, in 1 year like that, I give you a lot of credit. I like Hendon Hooker. Accuracy means a lot to me.
Yeah. That's why I want the Saints to draft at the 30th.
Hendon Hooker is an intriguing player. I think he was one of the best quarterbacks in the league or in college football last season statistically. The thing that we're not talking about Hendon Hooker enough is that he's had 2 solid years of production. This year he got injured late in the season, and he had 27 touchdowns throwing the ball. In 2021, I believe he had like 31 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. So what we're seeing, like, he doesn't really throw a lot of interceptions. He's very accurate. He operated in an offense that was a high octane spread offense. That's what Josh Heupel likes to run. He's got big hands, good height, and he has good arm strength. He doesn't have great arm strength, but
it's good enough though.
Yeah, he's capable of driving the ball outside the numbers. His lower body mechanics are good, and he's athletic quarterback. He's an athletic quarterback. So again, who you get drafted to, I think that's gonna be the most important thing here. But the system, manufactured spacing with little read progression. So if you could get him in an offense where it's rhythm based, where he can get the ball out quick, use that accuracy, because at Tennessee he wasn't asked to really go through his progressions that much. Right, this was a very much a vertical offense, and they threw the ball down the field a ton. Right, so when you have guys like Jalen Hyatt, who's probably going to run a 4.2, 4.3, Cedric Tillman and those guys, man, they really put Tennessee on the map. But I think people get so caught up in thinking that he only has 1 year production when in all actuality he has 2. So his mechanics are very tight. He has very tight mechanics. He's a very accurate quarterback. I think he's going to come in around 6'4", 215. The theme with these quarterbacks is 6'4". So these are good size quarterbacks. He's a little slender on the weight. You want to see him if he can put some more weight to that frame, because 250 pounds for him, I think maybe he can get another 10 pounds of muscle in the next few years. That'd be great for him. Ooh. But I think developmental quarterback, I would say his pro comparison, it'd be great for him to get drafted to a team like the Seattle Seahawks, where he can learn behind someone who is similar to him. But I think he's a better athlete. But Geno Smith kind of reminds me of Hendon Hooker. So, but I think he's a better thrower of the football than Geno Smith, and a better athlete overall. But that's who I would love for him to be taken. Now, he's not my actual number 3 quarterback on the list, but I'll let you have it. So Will Levis is my number 3.
My bad. We did 6. He's 4. Will Levis is number 3.
Oh, okay,
that's my fault.
Okay.
That's a miscount. That's my bad. That's my bad. Yeah, he's number 4. My bad. We do 6.
That's a great segue.
But that's a great segue. My fault, people. But number 3 is Will Levis. Now, Will Levis did grade out at a D. He had a 1.0. Now, I think that's due to the low number of completions. He did complete 65% of his passes. We do know he played for Kentucky. I think a good thing that comes from any average about 8.5 yards per pass. But I think a good thing that comes from this grading system is someone like Will Levis that we saw. He played well. Like, he's not a quarterback that I'm down on, but I do believe that the production doesn't really tell the full story about like what kind of quarterback he can be. But I do believe there's some truth to it if you watched him play.
Mm-hmm. Ironically that y'all talking about Will Levis, and like 10 minutes ago, I'm checking my notifications. CBS Sports has said comparing Will Levis to Josh Allen. And
I can see that.
I don't know about Josh Allen.
They said there are a lot of similarities between Kentucky QB Will Levis and Josh Allen when he left Wyoming.
Yeah. I can tell you the comparisons are legit. Now, will Levis, turn into Josh Allen? I don't know. I don't think so. But when you talk about arm talent, I mean, this dude, he probably has the most arm talent of anybody in this class. No, he does. I mean, it's not even close. He has the best arm talent. You're talking about a guy that can fit the ball in the tight windows. He's a specimen. I mean, this guy. If him in the NFL right now, he has one of the better arms in the league as a rookie. Better arms. And I'm not saying everything else around him, but he has one of the best arm talents in the league. He's right there with Justin Herbert. The thing about him.
You think so?
Now I'm just talking about arm talent. I'm not talking about playing the actual.
No, I'm saying arm talent.
Absolutely, the dude has a gun. He has a literal cannon of an arm. He can hit the back shoulder throw, tight windows. He can do. He can change the pace up on his throws. The thing about Will Levis that people aren't giving him credit for that he's running the NFL style offense in college. So Kentucky runs a variation of Sean McVay's offense. So, he's having to make calls and checks at the line of scrimmage in college, where a lot of college quarterbacks aren't doing that.
To Kentucky, you do not have Sean McVay's athletes. Why are you trying to run that shit?
But they're trying. They're trying. And so I think the production wasn't there, and I would even say that I agree with the naysayers that says, what have you done in college football? Like, you have all the physical tools, and they said this about Josh Allen. What have you done? Right. So,
but what you just said kind of makes sense though, because if you're out here trying to run a Sean McVay offense, y'all ain't got the running back to run that. Y'all probably have a couple receivers that can. Yeah, the quarterback, but like that wouldn't. When I look at Kentucky, that wouldn't be what I'm trying to do with them. But I mean, which might speak to the lack of, ability to put up more stats, because maybe the offense is.
Here's the T on Will Levis. So he's a guy that he's one of those, you've seen him, kids that just rely on athleticism. Mm-hmm. They rely on athleticism. He has one of the strongest arms in college football. He relies on it too much. So you see him trusts his arm more than he trusts his eyes. I think he's slow when it comes to progressions. I think that's going to be really hard for him. I think ball placement he needs to improve there, and accuracy. Like his lower body mechanics are inconsistent for sure. I think he could throw the ball he has a pretty good deep ball. But again,
do you think that comes from his lower body? Do you think that comes from a problem he has, or from him thinking about they're coming to get me?
I think he plays the quarterback position a little reckless. So I don't think he's worried about what the defense is doing.
He just plays like fuck it.
Yeah, he puts too much stock into what his physical ability is, and he needs to, as much as physically gifted as he is, I think that could be his downfall too.
Literally, the Michael Vick shit. Like, we're not saying he's Michael Vick, but literally, some Michael Vick you talk about. I can throw that.
He could, but this white boy can run. I mean, this dude can run too. Like, he's a good athlete. Again, he has to learn how to play the quarterback position. Like, take all the physical gifts and athleticism away, but what's here, I think is going to have to matter for him. And I think you can learn to fix what's here. So he has all the physical molding that you want in a franchise quarterback. So if whoever drafts him, if they can get in here and work with him there, he could be one of the best quarterbacks.
Sterling likes Will Levis. Sterling likes Will Levis.
I'm just being honest with what I see.
He
may not ever reach that potential, but we're just talking about his ceiling. That's where I have his ceiling. So
he's number 3 for a reason. So,
but he really didn't produce much in college. So I, like I said, I see where people are saying, like, well, where is it?
I think that has to do with Kentucky. Not trying to shit on Kentucky, but I do think that has to do with Kentucky. And to those that do say, I've heard, like, you couldn't win the job at Penn State. That's Penn State's fault, bro. What were you thinking? This kid at Penn State might get you to the playoffs. So I don't think that's his fault. I just think him and the coach at Penn State didn't get along. Man, when I heard that, when you see that, you're just like, you was at Penn State.
He had
a quarterback.
A completion percentage of 65% in college, about 8.8 yards per attempt, and he, 10 to 13 interceptions the last 2 seasons. 10 this year, 13 the previous year. So again, that's in a pro style offense. So now, so you put CJ Stroud in that, how would he fare? So I think it's it's a little different. College,
I think Will Levis
is more wide open.
I think Will Levis is one of the guys on here that I will give the old, like, I saw who you played with, bro. Like, and that's not a knock again on Kentucky. That's just like, Kentucky, you're not Ohio State, you're not Alabama, you're not even Tennessee. You know what I'm saying? So wait, did they beat Tennessee this year? Because they might have beat them.
Did they? No, they lost.
You know what I'm saying? But it's just that's not a school that we look to have that many athletes around. So again, this is where when you look at the grading and say, all right, well, it's kind of like he taught himself how to do the assignment before taking the test. You know what I'm saying? So, or the subject before taking the test. So we can move on to number 2. Number 2 is CJ Stroud, of course. Am I right here, or did you have it?
Yeah.
Okay. So number 2, I got CJ Stroud. Of course, we got an A+. You know what I'm saying? 4.0 all the way. I can go through all the stats. It'd be 258 pass completed, completion percentage of 66%. He passed for 3,600 plus yards, 3,688 for to be exact. About 10 yards per completion, 9.5 to be exact. He had 41 fucking touchdowns. And I believe his interception score was like 6. So like, well, his interception score was 29, but he had 6 INTs. So I to me, and his efficiency rating was 177, and that was the highest amongst the group. Now, one thing I did have on here that I added as a score factor that I think needs to be taken into account is the amount of the attempts. And I didn't really subtract for the amount of attempts that you had. I actually gave you credit for those because the more throws that you are allowed to throw in the offense lets me know that coaching staff trusts you with the ball. And when you're going to go to the next level, what do they want you to do? Have the ball. We know the NFL quarterbacks are throwing 45, 50 times a game. Even if we don't like it, that's what's happening. And he had 389 attempts, which is the second most on this list. Tanner McKee had 426. That lets you know something about Tanner's mind and how they trusted him. But, you get to CJ, and he had 389. So I like CJ Stroud. To me, it just depends on what's around him. Like a lot of these quarterbacks, but a lot was shown to me in the Georgia game that checked off a lot of the boxes for me that weren't exactly talent boxes. They were, what can you do against it was like, can you get over this mountain? He did. His kicker didn't, but he did. You know what I'm saying? So real talk. He did. His kicker didn't. He's hella accurate. I love the decision making. I like the fact that he's really accurate, but he does just the opposite of Will Levis. He does not depend on his athleticism at all, really. He's quarterbacking out there. The fact that he had 3 of the best wide receivers that we're going to see in a while, that does make me kind of think on one side, what's he going to do if he doesn't have those type of guys? But on the other end, it lets me know that he's a guy that can do his job, which to me, as y'all have heard me talk about quarterbacks, that's the most important stat is, can you do the fucking job? Like, if we have guys that are super cold, can you get in the ball? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's step 1, and he can do that. And then when crunch time comes, he can make that happen too. Me personally, he's my number 1 quarterback. I've actually, Anthony Richardson is my favorite. Hendon Hooker, I really like him as well. But as far as we look at these guys and analyze them, we do have a number 1 guy. Y'all can call me stupid crazy, but I do like CJ Stroud over all these guys, and I do think he's going to be the franchise guy that takes his team to the Super Bowl.
That's some high praise. I can't get behind C.J. Stroud as quarterback number one just because he played at Ohio State, and I'm a Michigan
I understand
guy.
that completely.
So even if I think he's
when we start
great,
talking about Quinn Ewers and Arch Manning, you will definitely see that hate.
but so I got to keep it a buck. However, now you want to talk about quarterback that's pre-packaged, ready to go. I think C.J. Stroud's that guy. I think he's probably the most ready quarterback of this draft class to come in and contribute to an NFL offense right off the bat. I think he has an impressive, size. I think he stands at like 6 foot. He's 6'3.5" probably. He's going to come in around 210, 220 pounds, right? Maybe 215, somewhere in between there. I think he'll measure. I think his instincts as a passer are really good. I think this guy, I've seen him throw some passes that NFL quarterbacks can't make. I'm talking over the shoulder, in the bucket, where two guys are flailing over a wide receiver. And I mean, this dude makes some impressive throws, dude. His mechanics are really good. I think he does a good job of identifying coverages. He knows how to read leverage as a quarterback. And I mentioned his accuracy. He's a really good anticipatory thrower of the football. He does a really good job there. I think he has slow eyes, like Will Levis. The thing about C.J. Stroud is when he's faced with pressure, I think things start to unravel for him. It's like he's one of those quarterbacks where everything's good, he's great. But man, when he starts to get pressure, and when his team really needs him to will them to victory, I think he has a hard time doing that. And keep in mind, like you mentioned,
you think C.J. Stroud has a hard time willing his team to victory?
When the chips are down and tight, he struggles. What
do you call the last drive against Georgia?
Bro, Georgia.
I'm sorry.
Georgia, they played a shitty game. That was their worst game all season.
I'm just saying though, because you're
right. What about Michigan in the last 2 years?
Okay, but I'm saying this. You're right about what you're saying, but at the game against Georgia, because normally to me, what I would say about that is he looks like when it unravels, he is very reluctant to use his athleticism. He is almost like Ben Simmons with trying to get him to shoot. It's like, dude, will you run? But he showed in this last game, which I think is growth. Listen, but it's growth into the next phase.
It is, but
if you never do something,
hold on. He did it because everybody was saying he had to do it, but he did it against Northwestern. But outside of that, he hasn't shown he was doing that. That's what I'm saying. Where everything is fine, when everything is good, he just throws the ball around like this. But when he faces pressure, that's when he has a hard time. Not to mention, he's had how many first-round wide receivers has he played with? True. That's a major benefit. That's a major benefit that Will Levis didn't have, or some of these other quarterbacks didn't have.
None of these other quarterbacks had.
I think that has to be part of the discussion, part of his story, who he's produced, and I think Ryan Day as an offensive coordinator and head coach is really good. They do a really good job at Ohio State, but I think it's like this. We know this when everything goes your way, in a sense, right? They win a ton of games. It's hard to win. It's hard to win football games when there's adversity. I think that's something he has to learn. He hasn't been put in those situations, so his mechanics while under pressure suffer, right? But when everything's good, he's great, and he makes some passes that I'm like, damn, there's not many kids that are doing what he's doing. But I think he's ready made, but what's his ceiling? So that's probably a better question. How far is his ceiling? It's kind of like the Baker Mayfield thing. Baker was polished coming into the league, but his ceiling was here. Josh Allen ceiling was here, but he was down here in terms of reps. You see what I'm saying?
True. But I think that when you look at C.J. Stroud, I think you can raise his ceiling higher than Baker's. The reason why is because even though, like you said, we saw it at Northwestern, but especially this Georgia game, we saw what we wanted to see out of him when the going gets tough. when the going gets tough, are you going to fold or are you going to rise above everybody? And he rose above everybody else.
Yeah.
He lost, but he rose because only guys that lose, when guys lose and we still talk about them. And I think the fact that it was something that we hadn't seen before, I would say that's a stepping stone into the next level that he's getting to rather than an anomaly that we won't see again. Because it was the biggest stage. He knows it's his last game in college. We know it's his last game in college. This is his last chance and opportunity he has to put heart on film, because that's what you're getting at. Does he have the heart to take your team if your team's not the stacked best team? And he showed that we aren't the best team, and they got a guy out here, Ringo, that's we're supposed to be talking about going to be one of the top DBs. And my guy's going to get open on him, but I got to hit him. And so I like the kid. I think that, like you said, I think he's ready-made, but I think his ceiling is high enough that the better that he will get will be better than the most of these guys.
Hey, you're not wrong. You're not wrong there.
But I think that we have to really pay attention to how much talent is put around him. Because if you go put him just around a bunch of also-rans and guys that are like number 2 receivers and stuff, you're gonna lose. Yeah. Now, if you get this guy a number 1 and a 1A and a running back, you're gonna do some damage.
Yeah, he's gonna have some good flashes, man, for sure.
Yeah, but he's not going to carry some bums. But only 2 of these guys. I only think 2 of these guys can, and that's Will Levis and Hendon Hooker, and that's because they played with schools and teams that had lesser. We didn't expect shit from, and they carried them out of the black into the light of national spotlight, that is. But
all right,
number 1, y'all ready? Y'all want to guess who it is?
Ooh.
Oh, go ahead. You in the front of the classroom in the red jacket.
Is his name Bryce Young?
Yes, it is. It is Bryce Young, people. Here it goes, though. B+. So the most popular guy in the class made a couple bad grades on a test. But yeah, he got a B+. He had a 3.33. 245 completions. He had 380 attempts, so that is in the high range that we like to see, or I like to see. Coach trust, if you will. Completion percentage, we had 65.4. He did have 3,300 yards, passing 3,328 to be exact. Now, his yards per attempt was 8.8. So it wasn't a lot of these guys in the 9s, but it's 8.8. He had 32 TDs, so that's second on the list. So he did throw a lot of tugs. It's Alabama. Me personally, it was a lot of those. Didn't they go to Gibbs? Gibbs is a running back, so
yeah.
I mean, you're kind of dinking dunking, and as we're talking about drafting a guy to lead my team, I don't know if we like that. He had an interception score of 32. His efficiency was 163.2. I still like him. I do not like the Pat Mahomes comparisons. I think those are crazy. But I like him as the quarterback. I would pick him if I see him or CJ. If it's the number 1 pick, I don't feel bad about it. His size, though, you better have a line. Let me say this. They will break you. This is the pros. They are big. All this talk about maybe, it's not no maybe. They will break you. And if they don't break you by getting you, they're going to break you by you trying to get away, a la Kyler Murray. And that's not even like taking shots. It's just, I do worry about the size thing, because not only is he not the tallest, but he is slight in build. But his arm talent is really, really good. And I like his accuracy and all those types of things. And I also like his heart. He passes the heart test. But I'll let Sterling get into the nitty gritty of it. But his size is the thing. I think someone catches him on a weak side blitz, it might be good night. We're looking at 2 or 2.0.
He only weighs like 185 pounds. And I don't know if he hits 6 foot. He might pop in at 5'11". I mean, he's a smaller quarterback, but man, for someone who's so small, man, he plays big in big moments here at Alabama. When we talk about, CJ Stroud sometimes not living up to or breaking through in those moments, I think, Bryce Young has. I mean, Heisman Trophy winner, national champion. This guy, he has impressive arm strength, arm talent. He can get it done in the intermediate and short passing game. He could throw with anticipation and throw guys open. He could throw guys on the run, which is really, really impressive here. I think he's the smartest quarterback in the draft in terms of football IQ. Some of the things that he does, I don't even think he knows that what he's even doing right now. He's just a really high IQ quarterback. I wouldn't go that far, but he's in this draft class. I think when it comes to X's and O's and knowing where how to play out of structure and knowing where his receivers are and the place to attack the field, I think that's pretty impressive. I think his decision making is really, really good. I think his best throws are deep throws. This guy can throw crossing routes. Yeah, he can spin it, man. That's a better way to put it. Opposite hash throws he could do.
Bro, and in college, I like that you said that though, but in college, opposite, for those that watch a lot of pros, the hashes in college are further.
Yeah.
So when you see a guy in college the reason why when the guys from the NFL scouts and they see guys make a hash to hash throw, and they're like, oh, the reason why it looks so much better in college is because the hashes are like 10 more yards.
Yeah, they're a lot wider.
They're a lot wider. So you're making there's a lot more distance between that throw. So when you see these guys, especially Bryce Young, who makes these hash to hash throws, it's like, it's just like, yo, bro, like you just slung that not only deep, but a very wide portion of the field.
I think he's a guy that, for his athleticism, he's going to be like a 4'6" guy probably. But I think he has really good feet, and he has the ability to improvise. I think that's one of his greatest strengths, his improv ability.
I was going to say this. He's going to be like, damn, it's kind of shitting on him. But he's like a slow Kyler Murray when it comes to athleticism.
Yeah.
And escapability. He doesn't run a 4.3, and he's not going to do like Kyler Murray and run away from people. But when it comes to him escaping out the pocket to make a throw, his feet get to getting.
He's a better quarterback right now than Kyler Murray is in the pros.
You think so?
I think so. Yep. I think so. He's better than Kyler right now. I know you don't think so.
I do not agree, but right now we will find out because they will play in the pros together soon.
Yes.
But let the world know. Oh, I don't agree. The little short kid is amazing to me, and I think that Cliff Kingsbury is the Nathaniel Hackett plus fail up kid. But we'll find that out later.
All right.
But I won't. But I'm not gonna sit there. You notice I didn't go what or anything like crazy, like because like Bryce is nice. No pun intended. No like rhyme intended. But Bryce he's nice with it, man.
All right. So we're gonna go ahead and move on to the next one. We got up is going to be the NFL. We briefly touched on it real quick in the beginning of the show. Madden NFL, the sole makers of the only football game on this planet. I know. Look, man, if you've been listening to us, back in September, we gave it good praise, good marks from the beta, and and the demo and all the other shit. And yes, it was a good gameplay. They made improvements to the gameplay, but everything else felt shit. If you have not heard or you haven't been playing. At one point, the game modes have been unplayable. Like literally, like everybody I know has.
They deleted niggas' franchises, man.
Yeah, they did.
This has been a headache from. I literally like I read and watched about it, and I'm just to the point now where it's like, do what you're gonna do. I think that halfway, the NFL probably told them like that license may get took. But at the same time, I also feel like, hell, some of the developers aren't allowed to even do some of the shit they want to do. You know what I'm saying? So, like, EA, just the whole thing is just fucked up, and I just hope it gets fixed. We could have a whole episode about what's fucked up with this. I got a lot of special guests that come in, and y'all do too. That pop in and tell you, but
we're not going to get into what all this is wrong with the game and stuff like that. Like, look, it's long and it's been documented. You can just put it into Google and you can find out. But the one thing that I wanted to talk about is that they went ahead and came out and said, this next one is going to be a make or break year. And I'm not sure what that means. And I'm laughing at it whenever I hear it because I'm like, okay, so what's the difference than the other withdrawals? So one of the changes that they're proposing to make up and make amends for everybody losing their franchise is whoever was affected and lost the franchise, they want to make the next Madden installment 50% off for these people that
I need mine.
That lost franchise. So I was like, okay, so you're just gonna make the game 50% off for everybody.
Basically.
So
like that the shit that like, but it's things like that.
Yeah.
It's things like that that make you look at this company and say that honestly, I think all of us are in a position in a boat that says you guys have the NFL license right now, so you're our only choice.
Up until 26.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm saying as soon as that shit is up, boys is gonna be out. Period. But we deal with it now because we live in an age where we are the video game age. We were the kids that played the game and stuff, which I think that's a big problem with Madden is that they're still making this game as if they're just making it for kids. And nah, bro, we've grown up. So like we need you to make the game better than you did. Because this back in 2005 is highly acceptable. This in 2005 would have been the best fucking football game we have ever fucking seen in our life. But it is 2023. So the Madden people that are making the game to be the game that you wanted in 2000, you're past that. You need to make a better product, but that's on them to do. There's literally nothing else. Even if we don't buy the game, all that means is that we are not going to play football for a season on the game. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's not a fucking option. Let me tell America that. That's not a fucking option. If you game, that's not an option. You know what I'm saying? So that's why it's just so frustrating because we are going to play what's out because you want to play a video game. The point of having a video game. You know what I'm saying? So I just think that it is a make or break year in terms of them being able to show like the NFL what they can do. But as far as us as consumers, we just hope that they do right. Like just not even do right, just do smart. Like have some sort of common sense in the build. Listen to the people that are sitting here telling you what's wrong with the game. Like there shouldn't be this much wrong with the video game. It shouldn't be 2023 and you say hut and for some odd reason your defense stands still and the other guys run all over the place. Like that shouldn't be the case. You shouldn't have these issues where people are running the same plays over and over again. Yet if you play 2K or something like that, your players have the ability to realize what's going on, get into gaps. Oh man, they don't do that. What the fuck is up with your zones? Why have you not developed an AI to where if a guy runs past your face, people aren't asking you to play perfect. They're just saying, hey, when a guy runs a post past my face or he's running a vertical right by my guy that's playing a quarter zone, why can't he just run with it?
Yeah.
If you're gonna put,
why gotta be flat?
Yeah, no, like I think it's the bridge between like people that not gurus, but people that know football a little bit and those that know video game. Bridge it a little bit closer because man, you're leaning towards all video game, and it's like if I tell my defense, just like in real life, you know what I'm saying? They told Pat Mahomes, you're not just gonna throw deep anymore, and he couldn't. So he learned to throw to the middle of the field to open up other parts of the field. On Madden, it's like you can tell him to go guard deep, but all of us know. All of us throw deep past it. All of us get deep passes thrown us on it past us. Like simple shit like that. Like, bro, if I tell you to cover deep shit shouldn't be open. Motherfuckers should have to throw across the middle. Middle of the field is all yours. Football is about give and take. You know what I'm saying? Like we watch all the time. What you gonna give the defense? What you gonna give the offense? What you gonna do to win the game? You know what I'm saying? And that's one thing. I think Madden needs more people that understand the game of football. Not even on like the highest of high levels, but just on a level high enough to understand, like, you need to implement this in your game. Like, the fact that it's 2023 and guys that are 99 speed are still able to be the best on the game no matter what they are, like, that makes no sense. We've been seeing that shouldn't be the case. Like, that's just the sad shit. Like, I respect 2K because 2K at one point in time, probably around 2010, 11, they said, you know what, guys? We know that you like taking all the 7-footers in these basketball games, no matter how shitty they are. you make them the best because they're 7 foot and they just lay the ball up. We're gonna make you miss layups. And I remember back in that time, niggas would lose their minds. We're missing fucking layups. Why the fuck are we missing layups? Because that nigga's garbage. That's why he's missing layups. Like Madden, I need them niggas to drop passes. Every pass that gets thrown across the field doesn't have to be an interception or a big play. It can hit the ground. It can go out of bounds. Like the quarterback can throw the ball out of bounds sometimes, or have an errant throw that just goes bad and just doesn't go where nobody wants it. It just hits the ground like most passes do in the NFL, instead of either going to your receiver or going right fucking to the defense. Like, it's just little arcadey shit like that they need to fix. And I think that, I don't know, I have faith that them as human beings that want their jobs will be able to fix it. But you never know, because there's bigger things at play here than just some guys making a game. There's other things that people in higher CEO spots think that people want and think that need to be a part of the game that don't really need to be a part of it. And then plus, when you sell the game regardless, it's hard to tell when you're doing shitty. You know what I'm saying? You want to listen to people tell you that you're doing shitty, but you're selling a game, but you're also ignoring the fact, again, that you're the only game on the market. So Madden just got to look in the mirror and realize that they're fucking up, and then just take some direction for people that know what needs to happen.
All right. Anything you want to add, Sterling?
Yeah, man, they've had the girl for years, and they never really had to work. They just gave up, right? And I think that's what we see with Madden, and you just hope that, like you guys said, you just hope it improves from here on out.
Amen, man. Look, the only thing we could do is just wait and see. But I want my 50% discount.
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah, I need mine too. All of us need ours. And I need to be on that beta. We all need it early.
G motherfucking P. All right.
Okay. Everybody really they do need to just get it out. They need to do like NBA 2K did that year, get that bitch out for $20.
Yeah.
Like, and just come out and say, yo, this is y'all's for $20. We made it the best that we can. But like, yeah, it's just a lot.
And take Mutt off the home menu, like where it sucks you in the Mutt. Like, they need to stop doing that.
I think that's one thing that they need to do. I think Mutt needs to be its own experience, like Call of Duty Warzone. Like, Mutt needs to be its own experience that you can just have. Like, if you want to do Mutt, you can have it. Like, that's just a free game that you can have and pay money to do what you want to do in. But the other game, put all your efforts into that, like the franchise mode, the gameplay, referees being back on the field, all that type of shit. Like, it's just like, like simple things like, hey, Madden, when we press buttons.
So I'm reading right here, and before we move on, they're saying that a big emphasis is going to be on the improvement of the franchise mode with I'm looking at it, contract management and everything of that nature. I'm not 100% sure. I'm not 100% sure as far as if that's going to be a real thing, but I
mean, they can fix that all they want, but like, it's that type of shit is like, to me, is what I call like, that type of shit is like cloudy. Like, I'm not cloudy, but it's like mist, like a ninja bomb. Boom. Let's throw this down so they don't see the other shit. Deflection. Yeah, deflection. Like, honestly, let's be real. Yeah, nobody, like the niggas that play offline, like, we respect y'all. No one give a fuck about what y'all talking about. Like, the niggas that have online connected franchises, we the ones that you need to care about. Like, we're the ones that you need to focus on. Like, we'll take care of the contracts. Things like, just make it to where we can just adjust them hoes and customize that shit. Like, it's very simple. Like, people want you to fix the fucking gameplay. Like, stop making these niggas little dummies run around that don't know what the fuck is going on. Like, a guy should not be able to run the same play 4 times and you picking a fucking quarter zone or some shit to cover it, and your guys just not playing that part of the field because of y'all's game logic. Like, those are the problems that happen in that game. That's because you're still using the same fucking code that you use on Xbox 360.
Cool. All right, so let's go ahead and move along to our segment. So our producer Chris has always been harping about the death of the middle class, the middle tier quarterback, and it was a very good segment because he was basically talking about the Daniel Jones situation on the show last week, and lo and behold, I think like the very next day, we get the notification that the Giants are looking to sign Daniel Jones for around the tune of what, $40 million a year.
45
$45 million a year.
That
And-
9 bang.
And so Chris is all but convinced that the middle tier of quarterback is all but gone in the NFL. I have my own opinions on it, but I want to hear you guys. Do you think that the middle tier quarterback is dead in the NFL?
So I'm gonna let you go first.
Kirk Cousins ruined it.
I'm sorry, I got no hold up, Kurt. You don't get these.
Yeah, I mean,
The pea shooters.
yeah, you throw Dak Prescott in there too, man. I think they're middle tier quarterbacks. I've been very critical of them and I've been proven right with this. But I think teams that are poverty-stricken franchises like the Vikings, who else are we going to get? Is the mindset that a lot of these teams have. Who else is better? And I think you gotta continue to draft and put yourself in position to take these quarterbacks until you get it right. Paying stopgap veterans, and I just think you're gonna find yourself in a rock and a hard place by doing that. It's like when we talk about with the Jets, how I was just on a pod where we were talking about the Jets want to go get Aaron Rodgers. That's their quarterback one of the offseason. Why would you want to go get a quarterback who doesn't even know if he wants to play? And if he plays, he's going to play maybe 2 years. So how much capital are you going to give up when you got, Derek Carr down the street who wants to play and you can get him at the stopgap
Derek Carr, hold up. Derek Carr down the street. My nigga Derek can't catch a break. Like, man, she's beautiful. Derek Carr down the street, nigga, giving it up.
Yeah, that's basically what it is. Now, if you add, so my thing was this. So why would you go do that when if you got to go give up draft capital, go get Lamar Jackson? They want to give him up, or go try to get one of these quarterbacks. If you're gonna spend that money,
year. Make sure she worth it.
Right. So you got the Vikings putting all this dough, buying these Birkins on Kirk Cousins, and it's like the results, you're not getting the results you want. So
you walking around and people like, that's her.
Yeah. How much plastic surgery she got?
Go get this, Kurt.
Mic drop.
I'm sorry, that's my inner Hall of Nights. What the fuck is that shit?
Shoot that little motherfucker.
Oh shit.
I'm gonna kill your ass.
But you're right though, bro. Like, I feel the same way, but I also feel like the reason why the middle. Okay, let me get into the bigger thing. So the reason why the middle stopgap quarterback, or the middle class quarterback, as we call them, or the mid, you know what I'm saying? The mid quarterback has died is because I think that the quarterback scaling system for payment and salary has fucked up everything. Bigger point. Quarterbacks should not be the ones getting this fucking huge bag. The best fucking players in the league should be getting this huge bag no matter their position. Now, before you interject or anybody interjects that disagrees, the NFL is the only major sport that we have that does this. Could you imagine having LeBron James on your team and saying, oh yeah, man, you can't make as much as the point guard because you're not the point guard? So that's what the fucking NFL does. And so I think that's what fucked everything up. Because right now, I think if you went on a team and said, okay, so Daniel Jones, for example, you want 45. You're not the best guy on this team. So we're going to give $45 million to Saquon Barkley. This running back is a horrible idea. But we're going to give $45 million to Saquon Barkley, right? He's the best player on our team. So we're going to pay him accordingly. Like, let's say, oh, shit, now the Rams, who fit that LeBron analogy pretty well, actually, and you know what I'm saying? Because they did have the LeBron on the team, but Matthew Stafford gets all the money, gets quarterback. But Aaron Donald should get the most money. Like, Dallas Cowboys, like, Michael Parsons should be getting Dak Parsons contract type money shit. Like, this whole idea that this quarterback is just this mesmerizing figure that makes your team, oh my God, it's a fucking lie. The reason why it exists in the NFL is because you have to pay them so much goddamn money. Like, if you could pay the best players the most money, the quarterbacks will become just another player. and all this shit wouldn't really matter. So I'm sorry. So so the middle tier QB shit is dead. But I don't think that middle tier QBs can't win. I think the simple fact is why have a middle tier QB when you're gonna pay a guy that's coming out the draft who's gonna be better than him? Why pay him more? It just makes no sense. So it killed it, but it killed it because you gotta pay a quarterback so much goddamn money, it's not worth it. Like why would I pay that much for a quarterback that's not worth it? Like it's not like after you get past the top, like I'll give y'all 10. And I'm giving niggas 10. Like after the top 10 quarterbacks, you niggas ain't worth this money. You mean to tell me after the top 10 quarterbacks, they're better, they're worth more money than every other position? We're paying DBs to stop the quarterback. They need $40 million. What are you talking about? Let me say that for Sauce. Sauce gonna be worth that money. I'm not trying to get at to a mid-tier guy just because he's the quarterback. It's the dumbest shit I've ever seen in my life. I just don't agree with it.
This is piqued my interest. I'm gonna see where all this shit began and started from.
Think about it, because I don't believe Trent Dilfer made more money than Ray Lewis.
So, because I remember at one point, there was the $100 million quarterback contract. That was more so reserved for guys who.
But they were nice as fuck.
Yeah. But I want to know where it went wrong.
But here's the problem. See, we should look at this too because but he's a prime factor in it because Jettas needs to get paid more than Kirk Cousins. He's better. Like the NFL is the only place where you can look on a roster and literally say, without there being some sort of weird shit at NBA where the nigga got paid like 10 years or 3 years prior in another contract when he was the shit and they got traded. But the NFL is the only place where you can look at the roster and say, man, these top 5 niggas on this team are better than the dude making the most money. Like the quarterback, like saying that the quarterback should make the most money and making up a bunch of fucking excuses to why is what ruined this whole shit.
Yeah, they say because he's the most.
The best player should get paid the most money, regardless. It doesn't matter if you play D-line, DB, fucking running back. If you are the best nigga on the team, the scale should just be you're the best, you get this much. And boys would fall in line. Guaranteed. Players would fall in line. And I guarantee leadership would follow differently too. Because you're asking guys and teams to be leaders that aren't the best, aren't fit to. You're a quarterback. We know you're not better than your defense. We know you got better guys on your offense, Kurt. And we're asking you to lead these niggas because you make the most money. It's the dumbest shit ever. And it creates animosity because you're like, you're asking this bum ass nigga to lead us? Really? And you're paying him the most money? And we got to smile here and take it. Like the first night in prison. You know what I'm saying? It's not fucking, it makes no fucking sense. Like, I think that's the thing that fucked up everything, bro. Like, this shit's horrible. But that's just
I don't want to devalue the role of the quarterback and what they actually bring to a locker room or what they're supposed to be. A real franchise quarterback, what they actually do. Like, they have the most difficult position.
True, but you'll answer this with a yes, I imagine. If I say that guy that you just described, he's the best player on your team, right?
Should be.
Right. Every quarterback that we will name that fits that bill that you say galvanizes the troops, you know what I'm saying, leads us to victories. Pat Mahomes, he's the best player on the Chiefs, correct? If the Chiefs come out and say Pat Mahomes is making the most money and Chris Jones is making the second amount of most,
let me tell you,
you would not be mad about that.
I'm going to tell you where it went wrong. When they didn't cap the rookie wage scale.
Facts.
I think that's where it went wrong. Because I think players would look at these rookies who are like top 5 picks and be like, damn, they getting all this money. I want that and some. Mm-hmm. You ain't never played the snap.
But you deserve it though. If I've been in the league and I got stats to prove, like I do this, bro. Like I do this against pros. Like we hear pros say all the time, fuck your draft picks. If the nigga turn out to be a dog, okay. But like we want somebody that we can look at and say, you've done your job in the league. You know what I'm saying? And so like you're right about that too. Like it's all like this whole, and I've talked about this before, more so in the NBA, this selling hope shit is what teams do. And this is what they profit off of. Like, we're going to pay you for the potential of what you might be and live with that shit, which makes no sense other than whether we're going to make you prove it and pay you for what you've done. And like, I don't know, it's a backwards ass system that probably will never change. But when people look at like what's wrong with it and why is it always a fucked up situation, like we're literally sitting here talking about like why teams can't have a guy that should be able to not fuck up. We always talk about quarterbacks that fuck up because they're either young or they're either old and they can't do it no more. You know what I'm saying? Like these guys, they're like, oh, he's fucking up at the end of the game. It's like, no shit, bro. He's fucking 23. Like they got him out here with a bunch of dudes that are ready to win. Like I've always said, if you were to take Tony Romo back in 2014, I believe, was it 2014 when Dak was a rookie? Am I not mistaken? Yeah, 2014, I believe it was. Yeah, it was basically Dak's rookie year. If you were to let Tony Romo play with that team, I believe we get. I don't know if we win it. We get to an NFC Championship or we'll get to a Super Bowl. I guarantee you. And it's not because of Tony Romo being this magician or magical beast. It's just the fact that he was a veteran that knew how to just win a game in the pro level, which means a whole lot. You know what I'm saying? So, but hey, it's the NFL. The NFL is king of doing dumb shit in the sake of saying that you're trying hard. It is. Like the NFL will run right into a brick wall and be all bloody and say, but I ran really hard. Yeah, into a fucking brick wall though. You know, but that's the NFL.
All right, so we're going to go ahead. We're going to close out our NFL segment here, and we're going to go to our either or with our very own Russell Johnson. So, Russ, what you got for us for the either or today, brother?
All righty, my brother. So I do have an either or today. Now, with today's either or, let me look up something real quick. I got. So with today's either or, there's something very interesting about it. I'm gonna give you two names, and you guys are probably going to answer this in a landslide, but I will like to go over some of the stats first before you answer in the comments. So pay very close attention because this is what caught my eye. Jason Tatum or Devin Booker. Now, I know what most of you are thinking, Russell, this is a no-brainer. But as we go through the different stats, we have NBA championships. Both have been to an NBA championship. Both have lost an NBA championship. NBA seasons, 8 for Booker, 6 for Jason Tatum. All-star games, 3 for Devin Booker, 4 for Jason Tatum. Now, we do have all NBA first teams, 1 apiece. All NBA teams overall, we got 2 for Jason Tatum, 1 for Booker. We do remember Booker got screwed that one year that cost him a little bit of money. Now, this is the one that made me want to put this over anything else. Field goal percentage, both of them, dead even, 45% from the field. 3-point percentage, 35% for Devin Booker, 37% for Jason Tatum. Free throw percentage, 86% for Devin Booker, 84% for Jason Tatum. Their best season stats, like overall, like just, you know, the best overall seasons, points per game, 26 for Devin Booker, 30 for Jason Tatum. Rebounds, Devin Booker had 5, Jason Tatum had 8.6. Assists, Devin Booker had 6.8, Jason Tatum 4.5. Steals per game, both of them had around a steal per game. Blocks per game, both of them had around a block per game. Now that is very, 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 very fucking even if you ask me. But I'm still taking Jason Tatum as my choice. But with the stats and everything involved, and as always, let the people know. Remember, when picking these guys, you only pick that guy alone. You do not have any A's, you do not have any B's, you do not have any coaches, you do not have any GMs. It's going to be that guy, and the guy you do not pick gets chosen by the team behind you, so you will have to play him. Go.
I'll be real with you. My answer has nothing to do with basketball. I'm taking Jason Tatum solely because Devin Booker has a Kardashian, and we know how that ends.
I was thinking the same thing.
Damn! Can we come from the angle of the 94?
But I will say this, though. I feel like Jason Tatum has been in those moments more than Devin Booker. Like, I feel like the Celtics got to the finals because of Jason Tatum, right? I think Book plays with, the Suns get it differently. Like
after watching CP3 for this long, you don't think it was Cookham?
No. I think the leadership that CP3 brings to the table facilitates that big time.
I think Monty Williams had a big part in that. I think CP3 does facilitate a lot.
But
I
Jason
think
Tatum earned it. I'm not saying Book didn't, but Jason Tatum to me,
but
like he
who
earned
had the better teams?
They're pretty even, man.
Do you think the Suns, if you go chronologically and look at the Suns and the Celtics and where these were, the way they were built, you really think that the Suns were doing a decent job?
Drafting, I think they did a good job drafting.
They drafted Draj and Bender. What's his name?
Okay. That's a flop.
Bro, like I was just saying,
they got Cam Johnson and Mikal Bridges.
Bridges. I believe at one point they had my nigga from Kansas. What was his name? Shit. What was my guy's name for Kansas? He got drafted. The reason why we can't remember. But I will say you this: the Celtics have done a hell of a lot better than the Suns at putting talent around players. And the teams that, hell, Jason Tatum came in the league and had Kyrie.
4 seasons.
But I'm just saying, you come into the league and you have that.
Look who Book got, Kevin Durant.
No, now, took about 8 years.
Well.
What did he start with? Yes. I'm just saying, man, like it's dog. Like he had a Morris twin at one point. Like the Suns have gone through a lot of niggas, you know what I'm saying? So like I also take that into account. So if you pick Bookham, I completely understand. Silky smooth scorer. I think both these guys need someone next to him to help him get to that next level, just like everybody does. But if you were to tell me I got to pick one guy and you get the guy after, and I don't got no other choice, give me Tatum. But I just wanted people not to sleep on Cookham because he does have the cookbook and he is that nice.
All right, but there's a clean sweep for light-skinned Kobe for the Sports Sushi crew.
Oh yeah, right, yeah, he really was. I'm not gonna do that, but it's a joke I normally tell, but I'm gonna leave that in the group chat. All right, though, Jason Tatum and Devin Booker, you pick yours. Leave it in the comments. While you leave that in the comments, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. You know what I'm talking about? So you can follow us and then know every time we hit some shit up and take some shit out.
All right. So we're going to stick with the NBA, man. All-Star weekend just completed on Sunday. So we're going to go ahead and talk about
Dookie.
We're going to talk about the All-Star weekend. All right, man. So did you guys check it out at all? I'm pretty sure y'all did, man. So
I did check it. That's how I knew it was Dookie. Nigga, that shit was boo-boo.
Let's just start with the celebrity game here. Did any of y'all catch it? I didn't catch it because
I just saw some of the clips on social media. Richard Jefferson, you are a treasure to behold. You go ham. But other than that, DK Metcalf, you're a freak of nature. I hope one day that we get to trot our ass out there and nobody watches us playing a celebrity game. But other than that, I'm good on that.
Sideline. If we ever get a bid, I'm just gonna yell from the bench.
Yeah,
you know, I'm gonna be suited up and shit, but I ain't gonna
Yeah, that's the way I feel about those though. I didn't really watch too much of it. I saw some highlights. I loved playing one, but
shout out to people that watched WWE. Miz hit a half court shot that didn't
count it though. Hold that, man. Yeah, Miz, you made that bitch, bro.
He'll definitely be on WWE talking shit about that. I'm pretty sure, and never let nobody forget about that.
One time for the Miz.
All right, so let's get it with the Rising Star game. I like I said, I didn't catch the game.
I like that. I like that. Now that I liked. I wish that somehow or another the NBA, you can tell like that shit. I was just I like that shit. I like the Rising Star. Ooh, that shit was not Dookie. So no, I like the way that shit rolled out. I like the tournament style. I would say, why can't we figure out a way to do that with the all-stars that we have that are the all-stars? Because that shit was dope. I think the first game was like to 25. Then the next game after that, the final was the 40. It was pretty dope. To me that and the dunk contest was the highlight for me. But I really like the way the Rising Stars was put together. I like that tournament style format. The 2 teams or was it 4 teams and then 2 play for the championship. Mm-hmm. So I did like that.
Yeah, you got to give it to the NBA for their ingenuity, like how they're
trying.
Man, they really do try. And the Rising Stars game was pretty dope. Jose Alvarado, man. Like,
bro, my man said, bet you I hit it, bet money. That nigga said, bet 100. My man Donovan Mitchell said, bet 100. He said, bet. That nigga got that ball and fired and made that big. But and Sterling, you agree, that is the essence of basketball, bro. Like, they found a way to little bit capture that in that Rising Stars game where we're gonna have some competitiveness. They're gonna hoop it against each other, you know what I'm saying? But that fun and that love is gonna be a part of it. So I really like the Rising Star shit. I really found it to be dope. Apollo's unfair.
And
the mic was cool too. Josh Giddey on the mic. That was cool too. They got that from baseball. Y'all got that from baseball. Not gonna let y'all just slide with that, but
he said, I'm gonna call y'all out on this shit.
Oh yeah, they got that from baseball for sure.
All right, so the skills challenge, I did not see it all. So I couldn't tell
Utah won it, but it wasn't worth it. I think Jordan Clarkson was high. I almost called him Jordan Lightskin and Clarkson at the same time. So I got Jordan Clarkson.
Shout out San Antonio.
But yeah, Jordan, Mr. I'm from the West Coast, but I came from Texas. He I made it straight out of an episode of fucking Snowfall. Oh my god. The skills challenge is cool. I think that it's one of those things that they are trying. There are things that could be better about it, but I don't dislike it. I'm not gonna hate it. I'm not gonna hate on it, but it's not just the most. I go get my beer on that one, and I come in and out. You know what I'm saying? That's where you go put extra cheese on your nachos.
Yeah, I didn't watch it.
By the way, real quick question, you guys. So, if you were to get, what kind of nachos do you like? Do you like nachos with the liquidy cheese and meat, or do you like the nachos like you get at a Mexican restaurant with the melted cheese on top?
So we talk about like shredded cheese, melted?
Yes. Or do you like the
queso
government cheese nachos?
Well, I like queso. So I like my shit to be queso like. I
like queso.
Yeah, like
fuck queso. The both of you niggas have no class. Yeah. Anyways, this is about to be a comment in segment. Said Russell, see, I told you, nigga. And this is proving bad for our culture. Chris, come in here and say something. Hurry. Government cheese nachos. Anyway,
Chris is definitely a California guy. If he says anything other than queso, well, he's a Buffalo guy living in California. So if he says anything other than queso,
man,
I'll be very, very, very disappointed.
I just did that because I know I'm the only one that likes melted cheese besides actual Mexicans. So like, and even them would tell me to put a little, you know what I'm saying? But hey, you know what can I say? Y'all need to take that block of government cheese and go on somewhere with your motherfucking ass.
It hits different.
It hits. It definitely does. About 2 hours later on the fucking toilet.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, it is. And this shit turned to plastic. I just started a whole nother show. We're supposed to do stadium food this summer. My bad, y'all. It just hit me.
Yeah, so
y'all can have that plastic though.
Nah, man. You gotta give the
why
right
it's
amount
piping hot, otherwise it gets cold in 2 minutes.
But yeah, you put
so many things,
milk in it, it won't stay. It won't kind of lock up that much. But let's go.
I was too privileged growing up. What about their
3-point contest?
The 3-point contest.
So last week, man, when me and Russ was talking about it, I should have put money on the shit, Russ. I actually picked two of the guys right. The two of the winners right. Dame Lillard won. Dame actually walked away the victor of the 3-point contest.
And he said it too. He said, if I don't win this year, I might as well stop doing this shit. And won that bitch. So I give credit to shit like that. Dame is a bad motherfucker. He could have chose 2, 3, 4 years ago to go to another team and make them stack and win a ship. So he gets a little bit of credit for that. Not too much now. Let's not, you know what I'm saying? Don't be that nigga in that photo where everybody's together and you're back here, I stayed on my team. Nah, nigga, there's a point when you needed to leave. But other than that, he showed out. I liked it. Now, it was a lackluster 3-point competition, so I think the fact that Dame won was just made us a little bit more happy. But what are we gonna do? We've been spoiled with Steph and Clay. You know what I'm saying? Like, think about CJ McClung. We've been really spoiled with. It's been a good era for the 3-point competition, and so You know, it's been the exact opposite of what's been for the slam dunk is what's been for the 3-point. So we've been spoiled a lot. So I think we saw a normal one this year, and it was kind of lackluster. But I give Dame all of his props, though. Shout out to Dame.
Sure. Yeah,
it's something that I think I agree he needed to have on his mantle.
And I gotta agree with you. It's like definitely the 3-point the 3-point contest was it took over as the event, I guess, for All-Star, where the crown jewel for me has always been the dunk contest. But let's go ahead and move on to the dunk contest.
Mac.
This was
my new Mac, bitches.
The other guy that I had picked to win. I should have put money on this shit. I don't even know what the odds were. But Matt McClung came in and has, some people say, quote unquote, breathe life back into the slam dunk contest, or
I'm just gonna be honest with y'all. I'm gonna say this and make it as canceled. People may not like it. That white boy walked up in that bitch and had a nigga moment. On everybody ass. Nah, for real. Those of us that have watched him before on the internet, we've seen him since like 2015. We knew this was gonna happen. I was saying, like, Boogie knew, Sterling, you knew, we all knew. If you was in the NBA and you didn't know, nigga, like, everybody that watched knew. It was I thought the performance was great. I love the fact he made all of his dunks on the first fucking try, because I am tired of this bullshit where these motherfuckers come out here and miss like 2 or 3 dunks and then be wanting the same praise as if you went in there and did that shit on the first try. So I give him credit for that. This whole business about, did it revive the dunk contest? Make it worthy to the NBA players to do it, and then we'll find out. We have said everything in the world about the dunk contest except get these niggas more money. That's pretty much it. Pride, blah, 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 blah. Like, I think America got to understand something. Every dunk has been done. It's been done. It's going to be very hard for anybody to pull off something that we haven't seen. And when Dominique and Mike and all them niggas was doing that shit, they was the only ones that could do it. We didn't have social media, so if you was some nigga in the Bronx or in Texas or something doing that shit in the 80s, we didn't know, nigga, because we couldn't see it. So nowadays, we can see it. We have the dunk league. We have these guys that dunk professionally. So now it's not necessarily doing something that we've never seen. It's the amazement of saying, oh shit, Zion did what that motherfucker did on TikTok. Now, if you want Zion to go out and practice this shit, because it takes practice, back in the day, to all those Jordan and Dominique and that apologists, all y'all niggas had to do was a 2-hand windmill. And the shit was done. Vince Carter won with the elbow hang and a 360. Like, my nigga, in between the legs.
Yeah.
Like that shit ain't gonna win just outright. And that shit that these niggas can do without practicing. Like, they can do that shit just straight up now. Now, if you want them to win a dunk contest now, they're going to have to practice, because they're going to have to do 720s, 540s. They're going to have to do that shit, Matt McClung, jump over people. They're going to have to do windmills and stick their arm in. They're going to have to do a bunch of crazy shit that takes practice, that's going to take away from their actual craft, which is playing the game of basketball. And if you want someone to do that, then you need to pay them accordingly. If you're not going to do that, call these niggas up, man. Because niggas like Rico's cheese is bullshit. And I do be busting. I'm not going to lie. It do be busting. I just like my cheese shredded.
I got Rico's cheese in the camera, nigga.
Rico's cheese, dude, especially when you get it already made out the plastic popper. You just get you some jalapenos and some chili. And just, you know what I'm saying? Hey, but it's not better than traditional nachos. We just a whole episode again.
Right. Yeah.
So Rico's cheese do be busting. You know what I'm saying? It do be busting.
Shout out to Ghost. Shout out to Ghost.
Shout out to Ghost, man. You got me on now. Rico's cheese do be busting. And it don't turn to plastic after like 2 minutes. That's that Velveeta.
All right, Sterling, you got anything you want to add to the dunk contest? How you feel? How do you feel, man?
I loved it. Max McClung, man, he been dunking like that since high school.
Yeah.
We've been seeing that for quite some time. But my favorite dunk was that 520 that he did. Now, I watched that maybe 10, 15 times just in the
first try.
Yeah, it was sweet, man. Like that dude's gifted, man. I think it's I would liken that performance. It's not Vince Carter-esque, but I think it's up there. I think it's probably top 3.
It's a dominant.
Yeah. And I don't think that'll be top for quite some time, to be honest. And little known fact that he earned $100,000 for winning the dunk contest, and he earned $100,000 in his NBA career. It's been a short career, obviously, but it was cool to see him.
But just think about that. He earned $100,000. Zion ain't doing this shit for $100K, bro. Like they're not. They are not. Now, me personally, I think that I love it for Mac for this perspective right here is that you watch this guy, if he's athletic enough to win an NBA dunk contest, he could play some defense. He's athletic enough to move his feet. He could do something. You know what I'm saying? He can run up and down the court and do something for you. So I think getting a look as far as that concern is good. And he can actually hoop. Like he can actually hoop. So I think that's a good look. But I just think that us wanting this dream of the NBA players just doing this shit out of pride, that's just stupid.
Yeah.
Would you go outside and race your neighbors for $5?
Yeah.
No. Like you wouldn't do it. Like you wouldn't do it for fucking $50. Let's be honest. A lot of you niggas wouldn't do it for $100. Racing takes a lot of energy.
And on top of that,
wouldn't do it for $100.
Of that $100,000, he's only going to take her home 60, 65.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I think a lot of people that love to look at this, that love to take the side of athletes are selfish. They're not selfish, bro. Like you want to be entertained, pay the fucking price.
Yeah.
If you want Zion to learn how to do a 540 and do it in front of y'all, pay the price. If you want John Morant to be able to jump over 3 people and do a 360, pay the fucking price. The price used to be the price back in the 80s, and the pride was the pride. But like nowadays, man, yeah, they need that straight cash, man. And it's not cash. It's not. It's taxable funds, and they getting all theirs. So if you want these other guys to do it, pay them. And stop blaming Braun. You old niggas blaming Braun. Niggas, shut up. Like, it's not Braun's fault because he sucks at dunk contests and knows it and doesn't want to do them. And that's not a shot at Braun. We saw that McDonald's shit. It wasn't tight. It wasn't live. It wasn't cool. He knows it's not his shit. He's an in-game dunk on a nigga dunker. And for those that don't know, for so many years, I've watched people say, well, why didn't he do the dunk contest after the nigga does a 2-hand jump bunny dunk? Nigga, that ain't no dunk.
Yeah.
Nigga, you need to style, flair, finesse, and only certain niggas possess that. You know what I'm saying? So I think that, you know, pay him, and you know what I'm saying? Hey, Ghost, you ain't raising your name for $100. Well, you are. You are. We did that shit for free, drunk one night. But anyways, and I smoked y'all niggas like a Philly. Slave speed. What you call it? But no, I just think you gotta make it worth their while, bro. We can get on to the next. But shout out to Mac though. Return of the Mac.
All right, so we are pressed for show. What's it called? So let's just go ahead and get straight into our Sterling power rankings.
Yes, sir.
All right, so let's see.
Oh, let me go ahead and hit you with one of these real quick though, because I know we got to skip over, but we just want to mention it. Jason Tatum, we do want to give you a shout out for scoring the most points in the All-Star game. I don't want to just gloss over that like we don't care. But that All-Star game was buns. But you did do your thing. And for those of y'all that were talking to me asking about Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum and why they are 1A and 1B, you saw that shit. Don't fucking play with me. You saw that shit. All right, Sterling, give him that 1 through 10. Let's get it.
You know, I'm gonna go with my Dallas Mavericks, man. They're kind of hanging around 500, but again, you know, I think we're talking, you know, Luka Doncic asked for a change. They go and get Kyrie Irving. Now they're 5-5 or 5-4 their last 10. But I think, you know, it's the dynamic returns have been there. I mean, those two in the backcourt, I mean, it looks like they've been playing together for quite some time. So the Mavericks at number 10, they stand here at 31-29. I'm going to go with the Brooklyn Nets as the number 9 team. You know, this is a team that they decimated their roster, but man, you had, you know, Mikal Bridges putting up 45 last week.
Boy,
right?
I can hoop. That man said it with his actions. That said it with his actions, boy.
The Nets probably have one of the best young rosters in the league after making those trades
They got a bunch of dogs.
They do, and they're 10 games above 500.
Wait, my bad. A bunch of dogs and Benjamin.
Yeah, pretty much. They need to figure out what they got.
Hey, but what Lil Durk say? I done seen what he say? I done seen pit bulls made out of poodles. So come on.
Hey, and for everybody wondering, the Brooklyn Nets in their last 10 games, they are 5-5, so they have cooled down a bit. But I think as the season progresses, I mean, we're kind of things are going to start getting tight. So I don't know if they're going to stay here forever. But this may be the best version of the Brooklyn Nets we're going to see this season. At number 8, I got the Clippers here. I have them here because they did add Russ. I think that's really going to help them out. Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, can we get them on the court at the same time consistently? No. That's a problem. They just this low management stuff and these injuries kind of getting on everybody's nerves. But
we gotta call something new for them niggas. This is beyond low management. This is just not playing.
Yeah. Hey, but Norman Powell is playing, and he's looking like a guy that we should consider in the top 3 run for NBA Sixth Man of the Year. This dude's shooting maybe like 43% from 3. And the Clippers, as far as their offense, they only rank like 21 in the league in offense, so they're gonna have to get better. But maybe and I'm not. Maybe Russ brings a little bit of dynamic backcourt play.
No.
He said no.
Let me be the voice of reason. No.
Hey, all right. Hey, next up, we got the LA Kings, the Sacramento Kings. Did you know that they're 3rd in the Western standings, man?
Yes.
Currently, right now, they are 32-25. Now they are 5-5 of the last 10. They're on a 1-game losing streak, but they are playing very well, led by Domantas Sabonis and your boy De'Aaron Fox. Their offensive output Keegan Murray is a young rookie that we've been high on. He's been playing hell of a basketball. They still have holes on defense. So even though they have these offensive outbursts, defensively they ain't that. They ain't him. All right, they need some help on defense. But for us to sit here and say that the Kings are number 3 in the West, I mean, I think everybody's taking that as a dub. They're a pretty good squad, man. They got some good young talent. De'Aaron Fox is coming into his own right before our eyes, man. I think we need to put some respect on his name. When you're playing in a place like, for the Kings, like they've been trashed for years. Like niggas don't want to go play there. The fact that he's there doing his thing and he ain't said shit. I think we got to give
niggas don't want to go play there.
They don't, dog. You know it. Next up, we got the gangsters of the league, the Memphis Grizzlies. I tell you,
ain't no such thing as halfway crooks, nigga.
I will hate on them, and I'm from Tennessee, okay? But I will forever hate on the Grizzlies just because these niggas out here, they acting like they real about that life. Some real.
They're the type of niggas that just shoot a couple shots and be like, "What with his head, face, and the shirt? Is he dead?"
Bro, I'm just waiting. I need somebody to hit Dylan Brooks. Like I'm talking in the tunnel on the court.
Bruh.
Somebody needs to just let him know.
Because that old punch shit that he did, diving on the floor.
Yeah.
Nah, cuz no.
But here's a bright spot. They've been plus 15 when they got Desmond Bane and Ja Morant on the court at the same time. Jaren Jackson Jr. My man was last being picked in the All-Star. I mean, nobody look that.
Hey, yo, that's
deserves it.
Yo, that's how you officially.
From Memphis, nigga.
That's how you officially figure out that you ain't got no bag. I'm cold, but I ain't got no bag, my nigga. Nobody want to be in the All-Star game. Like, damn.
Nobody respects the Grizzlies, man.
Like, Jared Jackson, you made the All-Star game off of intangibles.
Yeah. And so you got the.
He cold though. I fuck with him though. He cold though.
For sure. They're 35-22. They're 5 games behind Denver. I think they got a conference record of 17-16. So they they need to improve there. The West is tough, but if you want to be one of the best teams in the league, you're gonna have to do something for me. So I got the Grizzlies here. Next up, we got the Cleveland Cavaliers. Just like the Kings, I think the Cavs. This is their second year of production, man. They're really doing it well. They're 38-23, man. Let that sink in for a minute. Jarrett Allen and Evan Mobley defensively they are menaces,
Tough.
and I believe the Cavs probably have the best defense in the league. The offense, Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell, I really do believe that they're going to upset a team or two in the playoffs, man. This is a really good team. They got a really good young nucleus, and they're extremely athletic, and they're well coached. They have the second best net rating. Oh, I don't know yet. But good. But they got the league's second best net rating in the league. So I think with that being said, historically, that makes you a title contender. Just let that sink in for a minute. We got the 76ers up next at 38-19. They've gone 26-7 of their last 33 games. That's still one of the best records in the league during that stretch. When James Harden's playing and firing all cylinders, man, they're tough to beat. Joel Embiid is looking like an MVP candidate. I don't know if he's going to beat out Jokic, but last week, man, he was averaging 33 and 10 last week. So that should put something in perspective.
He's hooping.
Yeah, and on 54% shooting. So we'll see. We kind of know how the Sixers kind of fare. It's like they have regular season, they're great, but they struggle in the playoffs for some reason. So maybe they have some better success this year as we get towards the end of the season. At number 2, we got or are we at 3 or 2?
I thought you're at 2.
Okay. All right. So I got 3 teams left. So maybe I put an extra one in there. But you're right. You're right. Number 3.
You're
okay.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, because there's 3 teams left. Yeah.
Okay. So I got the Bucks here at number 3. The Bucks are just solid, man. And I don't know how that trade's gonna go when they picked up your boy. What's his name? Not Jameson Crowder. What's his name? Crowder. Help me out.
From the Suns.
From the Suns. Yes.
Jay Crowder.
Jay Crowder. I was thinking Jameson Crowder because he
don't say his name 3 times, or he gonna pop up and foul somebody and scream "fuck Braun."
My man ain't played all season, but I think when he does play and he's right, I think he's a really good solid D and 3
He's
player.
a menace.
Yeah, he really is. I think that's going to help them down the stretch.
He's in the Pat Bev class.
Yeah, he is in the Pat Bev class.
He's a defensive. He gets on your nerves. He'll hit somebody in the balls. He'll do some foul shit. Like everybody's got one. He's one of them.
Yeah, and I think they're still waiting on Chris Middleton to actually to continue to come into his own. I don't know if he is. I think there's rumors circling around that Chris Middleton, that we've probably seen the best of Chris Middleton that we're going to see.
I'm talking straight spot up shooter from here on out, maybe.
Yeah.
And that's like 3-4 more years, maybe. But we'll see. Because he never was just an overwhelming. I know you got to get back to the back. But he was never like an overwhelming athlete. His game predicated off of him being able to get his shot off, be open, and now it's just he's hurt a lot. Sad to see it. I'm glad he got him one because he's a great basketball player. But I think we're looking at the end.
Yeah, I'm afraid it looks like that. But tell you who's not at the end is Giannis. My man was averaging 31.8 points a game last week. With 12 rebounds and 5.4 assists, man.
Bro.
Giannis continues to improve his game. Like the dude, his basketball character. I don't know if there's someone who has more basketball character than Giannis. This guy really goes into the offseason and works on the areas that he's not good at, and then you see the fruits of his labor on the court the next season. I mean, Giannis he's just that dude, man.
Yeah.
And I love what he said, winner, chicken dinner. He's such a cornball, bro. He's funny.
Bro, but he's himself. That's another thing that's live about it. He's what he is. And what I really like about it is even me, like I'll say some shit like, yeah, Luke is the best player in the league, and then you'll watch Giannis and I'll be like, he just told me shut up.
Yeah.
He just told me shut up. But like he's ridiculous. He's everything that we want a big man to be nowadays. For all the young kids that we tell you, like, the big man is dead, it's not dead. Take your athleticism and your aggression and be able to do that. Run up and down, dunk the ball ferociously, be able to handle it, get yourself some post moves, and progress. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I like
this countdown here. What you got left for us, Sterling?
All right, so number 2 is Denver. They've been balling all season, man. Jokic, Murray, Aaron Gordon. These guys have the best offense in the league. Right now they're 41-18 in the Western Conference. I think for some reason I think they're going to be in the Western Conference Finals, and they just might represent the West in the NBA Finals. I just think Denver's really having a quietly good season. Jokic might get another MVP. We'll see.
Real quick, we might agree. He may get the Triple Crown, get 3, but we kind of agreed because I was talking with my homies the other day, and I was like, this is one of those years where a guy can squeak in and get his one championship that he needs. And Joker, this is a year that he might be able to do it. But real quick, to let you go on to number 1, stop hating on the man for not getting there so far, because he has yet to have a favorite in the Western Conference. He has yet to have a favorite. All the other MVPs that we want to name, most of them have had a favorite, except for probably James Harden and Russell Westbrook. But go ahead.
Facts. I agree with that. Number 1, man, we got the Boston Celtics, man. They're 41-17. They got the best record in the NBA. They're 4th in defense. I believe they're 3rd in scoring or something like that. They're 1st in net rating. Look, man, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, Malcolm Brogdon. I mean, the list goes on and on. Derek White has had a surge in his play the past few weeks. And if that continues to happen, I really don't see this should be your NBA Finals champion. I mean, they really do have a championship nucleus. So for our Sports Sushi NBA top 10 teams, man, we got the Celtics this week at the number 1 spot.
Bam!
All right. Man, my goddamn shit is all messed up. Well, all right, so we're going to go ahead. We're going to end it right here. I can't even see nobody because my camera is all setup is all messed up here on my end now. But before we sign out, please be sure to like and subscribe. We are live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, and IG. We'll be uploaded on Spotify, all podcast directories. That's Apple Music, Google, wherever you get your podcast shit from. We'll be there. Daily Motion, Odyssey, and Rumble also as well. I am DJ Slow Boogie. You can find me. You can find our shows on Twitter at Sports Sushi, all one word, or Instagram sports_sushi. You can find us on YouTube under the Gratwick Enterprise or Podcast Network, and you go to Facebook under Gratwick Enterprises, and you can find us there. You can find me at DJ Slow Boogie, all one word, with the I and the E, not a Y, at Twitter, Snapchat, SoundCloud, Instagram, and all the other bullshit. Where they find y'all at?
Sterling with the juice.
Hey, man, you can find me at Twitter at Furrow Sterling and on Buffalo Rumblings. Intentional Groundings will be back airing on Monday nights on the Buffalo Rumblings Podcast Network.
Yes. All right, you know me. It's Russ J. You can find me at sportsplug.russ on IG. You can find me at RLClimbSP on Twitter. You can also find us on the motherfucking talk at sports_sushi. Yes, we TikToking up in this bitch, and we might have to do a dance, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's where you can catch us. We love you for being on the show. And as always, if you ask her what she likes to eat and she says a lot of things, can't trust her, can't love her. Have a good night, y'all.
Peace. All right, my shit is all